President-elect Donald Trump is starting off the new year by threatening to take over a bunch of foreign countries right before he gets sentenced for a felony conviction, after which he will, instead of going to jail, become the president of this country. And he had an insane press conference today to complain about it. Not the best time to commit to dry January. But I'm a man of my word. See this right here? This is water. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Well, our holiday hiatus is over, and what a welcome back for us in one of the most insane press conferences he's ever had, tied for most insane with all the other press conferences he's ever had. Donald Trump is about to face sentencing for a felony conviction and be inaugurated as president of the United States again, claimed, among other things, that special counsel Jack Smith executes people. Wayne Gretzky should run for Prime Minister of Canada. Electric heaters make you itchy. Faucets have no water. Said he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And he won't rule out using the military to take over Greenland. My man is in mid-season form already. This brings us to a segment called I Can't Believe We're doing this again. We had a whole closer look written this morning about all the major news stories that had already happened over the break, like Congress certifying Trump's win, or the GOP almost shutting down the government and threatening to oust their own speaker, Mike Johnson, or Trump complaining about the Panama Canal, or Rudy Giuliani being found in contempt of court, or MAGA and Elon Musk breaking out into a vicious civil war over immigration. And not to belabor the point, but this was the nice thing about the Biden era. There was never late breaking news midday. Things were quieter. You might even say sleepier. Sleepy Joe, we called him. Oh, I guess it was a good nickname after all. But now that's all out the window. We got to tear up our script and start over. By the way, this already happened almost exactly 8 years ago when I had to shred the script for a closer look after Trump's first press conference as president, which was similarly insane. I can't believe we're doing this all over again, except, this time I'm not wearing a suit. Hell, if things keep going this way, by the end of Trump's term, I won't be wearing any clothes at all. And by the way, we blurred my upper body because I didn't want to make anyone feel bad for me. By the way, that's all about to change. My 3 New Year's resolutions: 1, get swole. 2, start a podcast with some other swole white guys. 3, wield actual influence over voters as opposed to whatever this is. I'm not jacked enough to listen to. Now, if Trump were a sane human with a normal brain, he'd be taking a victory lap. Congress just certified his election victory yesterday, and there wasn't even a liberal insurrection to overturn the results. I didn't see a single Democrat break a window or attack a police officer or take a dump in Trump's office, even though his office is also his bathroom. That's where all his important papers are. But rather than celebrate his win and lay out his agenda, Trump is, as always, whining about everyone being mean to him. Apparently, he's mad about the fact that special counsel Jack Smith was preparing to release his report on the cases against Trump before Trump's hand-picked judge temporarily blocked it. Trump's also mad that Judge Juan Merchan will sentence Trump in the hush money case before the inauguration, which will officially make Trump the first convicted felon to ever be inaugurated as president.
This morning, Donald Trump is waging a last stand against special counsel Jack Smith. The president-elect's legal team filing a motion to block what they call the imminent release of Smith's final report in the classified documents case. The federal case against Trump has already been dismissed, but this report is a final chance for Smith to make his case in the court of public opinion.
Breaking news involving President-elect Trump's hush money case in Manhattan. We just learned the judge has set a sentencing date.
The Trump team had asked Judge Juan Merchan to dismiss this case, but today the judge said no, dismissing the Trump team's motions instead. Judge Merchan scheduled a sentencing for January 10th, just 10 days before Trump's inauguration. We're talking about the criminal case here involving Stormy Daniels and hush money. But Judge Merchan said Trump does not have to show up in person. He can attend the sentencing virtually.
That's right. Trump can attend the hush money sentencing hearing via Zoom because he's busy getting ready to become president of the United States. Sorry, one time. I just got to drink a little bit more. Just water. It's water. That's not the only thing Trump's mad about, of course. There's a bunch of other stuff, too, although it's pretty impossible to follow. See if you can make sense of any of this.
We are inheriting a difficult situation from the outgoing administration, and they're trying everything they can to make it more difficult. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of people. Nobody even knows how many people. Even to this day, they're playing with the courts, have their friendly judges. I defeated deranged Jack Smith. He's a deranged individual. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong on anything. I call it the Injustice Department. The 625 million acres, people can't realize, that's like the whole ocean. I don't think we should have to go to the courts, but if we do have to go to the courts, you know, they try to be sneaky. You don't have a judge working real hard to try and embarrass you, because I did nothing wrong. By the way, I did nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. That's a sick group of people. He's a mean guy. He's a mean, nasty guy. His picture was perfect, because you look at his picture, you say, that's a bad guy with his robe, his purple robe. And he executes people. He shouldn't be allowed to execute people because he'll execute everybody. He's a nut job. Gas heater is much less expensive. The heat is much better. It's a much better heat. As the expression goes, you don't itch. When you buy a faucet, no water comes out because they want to preserve. Even in areas that have so much water, you don't know what to do. It's called rain. It comes down from heaven. And they want to do, no water comes out of the shower. It goes drip, drip, drip.
Drip, drip, drip is also a great description of this press conference. Also, is it called rain? Let's try to break some of this down one by one. First of all, there's this.
We won the popular vote by millions and millions of people. Nobody even knows how many people.
No, we know. We definitely know. You won by a little over 2 million. So not millions and millions, but, you know, million and million. Still, a win is a win, even though you didn't get 50%. Also, I do love this.
I call it the Injustice Department.
Oh, really good joke. That sounds like the title of a Bugs Bunny cartoon where he's a judge. You're a real wordsmith. You sound like a fifth grader who just discovered double entendre. Jack Smith isn't just a debater, he's a master debater. But this part really did confuse me.
His picture was perfect, because you look at his picture, you say, that's a bad guy with his robe, his purple robe, and he executes people.
Okay, now I think he's referring to this picture of Jack Smith in a purple robe worn by prosecutors at The Hague where he worked, but it's also very possible that Trump thinks Jack Smith is a wizard. You know, he executes people, he uses the killing curse. Avada Kedavra, they call it. It's one of the unforgivable curses. It's unforgivable. And I realize it by saying it out loud. I have caused Rudy to drop dead, but don't worry. He's died before. He always gets back up. We love Rudy. Always. Trump's also mad that Biden just banned oil and gas drilling on 625 million coastal acres in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. And Trump tried to explain why he was mad in a way that clarified absolutely nothing.
The 625 million acres. People can't realize, that's like the whole ocean. Take an acre. You know, an acre, you have a house on a half an acre, on a quarter of an acre, or an acre. If you have an acre, you have a big deal. Now you multiply that by 625 million acres. It's like, feels like the whole ocean.
None of that makes any sense. This sounds like a SAT math problem written by a dog who just smoked weed. You can't just say, imagine 1 acre, then multiply it by 625 million. It doesn't help. Google Maps doesn't describe how bad the traffic is by saying, okay, imagine you're behind 1 car, now multiply that by 1,000. Now you have 1,000 cars, so plan your trip accordingly. Probably the craziest part of the press conference came when a reporter asked Trump about his recent obsession with taking over Greenland and the Panama Canal. And Trump refused to rule out using military force.
Let's start, if we could, with your references to Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two.
I'd like to say something to Donald Trump about his threat to take Greenland by military force that might take some of our viewers by surprise. Do it! Do it, you coward! Go get Greenland, you coward! Fix my shower and get me Greenland, or don't show me your face ever again. I'm calling your bluff, bro. Stop making these crazy promises. Do it. I want it. Go get it. Why won't you get it? You afraid of Denmark, bro? You starting to remember they got those big-ass dogs? By the way, this is how you know Trump's not going to take on China. He talked a big game, but now he's backing down and threatening Greenland instead. He's going to keep downgrading the smaller and smaller countries. Russia's going to do whatever it wants while he, threatens Peru. We're coming. We're going to get Machu Picchu back where it belongs. Trump's also been making a bunch of unhinged claims about absorbing Canada as the 51st state, and he even made a suggestion about who their next prime minister should be.
I have so many great friends. One of them is the great one, Wayne Gretzky. I said, run for prime minister, you'll win it'll take 2 seconds.
I mean, now I think Trump picked Wayne Gretzky because that's the only Canadian he knows. I also think the Prime Minister of Ireland should be the Lucky Charms mascot, I think. Now, if you're someone who voted for Trump because you thought he'd bring down inflation or make housing or healthcare more affordable, bad news, he didn't talk about any of that because he's not going to do it, but he unveiled a very cool consolation prize that I think you are going to be very excited about.
We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
So, bad news, groceries will still be expensive. Good news, everybody's getting new maps. Bad news, maps are super expensive due to inflation. Although I doubt the rest of the world's going to go along with this change. So if you live in America, you're probably just going to have to bust out a Sharpie. Maybe you can do something about the word Gulf, too. Nobody likes that word. No one knows what that means. It's not really a Gulf.
It's like the whole ocean.
This has been A Closer Look.